Let's just go ahead and get started, and I think others will jump on. If you are in need of a new Stampin' Up! Catalog, please let me know. Creativity is calling, so I want you to be able to enjoy browsing the ideas and getting an introduction to the Stampin' Up! Products that I sell. And I'd be happy to earn your business, so please just let me know if you need a new catalog. All you have to do is message me your full name and your address, and I'll drop one in the mail for you, along with some coupons. Okay, so tonight's live demonstration features the Butterfly Wishes stamp set on page 18. It is one of our new distinctive stamp sets, and these two stamps in the set coordinate with the Butterfly Duet punch. Okay, so some of you may have the punch already because we released it in the last catalog, the last occasions catalog, but now we have another stamp set to coordinate with it. Okay, so Butterfly Wishes, page 18. Okay, you can see, as I said, it is a distinctive stamp set, and what that means is the stamps themselves are very, very smooth. They're so smooth, it's hard to believe that you could stamp such detailed images, okay? And if you look closely at the cover of the stamp set, you can see lots of the details in the butterflies. I have to say I'm not a really big person for butterflies. They're fine and I like them. I don't just love them, like maybe I love flowers or some other things. I love sentiments. There's some great ones in here, but when I saw this stamp set and saw the artwork and the detail of the distinctive style stamps, I knew I had to have it. And I have to say, as I've been working on it, I'm so glad that I did get this. And it really, I have to say, it's a butterfly set that I really find myself loving. Okay. Hi, Beth and Sandy. Thanks for joining me. Ladies, once again, if you could click the share button, I would appreciate it. Welcoming more people over to see me. Again, if you need a catalog, all you have to do is message me your name and address, and I'm happy to mail that off to you. I need to put a few things out of the way. Okay. Here is tonight's project. Okay, I've just got a standard little gift bag, brown gift bag. I made this beautiful birthday wishes tag with the stamp set. And would you like to see what's inside? Hi, Mary Beth. Okay. And this would make a wonderful gift. Love to celebrate you. It could be for a birthday. Well, the tag on the outside says birthday, but you could change the sentiment on the tag or not even put a sentiment on the tag. This would make a lovely birthday gift, retirement gift, somebody had a promotion or is getting a new job, perhaps a graduation, anything to celebrate someone. And sometimes we like to celebrate people just because, and those are probably our most meaningful celebrations. Hi, Beth. Okay, so let me show you what's inside. I'm just gonna untie the bow. And inside, I have a set of cards, okay? And I've got 3 cards. They're basically all the same with the exception of I use different embossing folders, okay? I use subtles, and I'm not going to remember these names all of a sudden. Hi, Cheryl. I've used the leaves, and then finally this quilted thing, which I can't remember the names. Isn't that awful? But not going to beat myself up for not remembering names because we can always look those up. So these note cards and envelopes fit right inside. Okay, My sentiment on all of them, basically they're all the same. My sentiment on all of them is a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. And I have to say, so true. This past weekend, I went on a craft retreat with 7 other women. All of these women are people I got to know through my Stampin' Up! Business. I did not know them before. And they have become some of the best friends I've ever had. So I'm so blessed to have shared that weekend with them. And I have to say, being with them and laughing and having fun and creating really did refresh my soul. So I'm sure all of you who papercraft know what that's like. Okay. So let me show you, first of all, how I made the card, how I did the stamping. And then I'll show you how to make this little card pocket gift, okay? And the tag, of course. Alrighty, so this is it. I've even stamped my envelope, okay? There's lots of pieces and parts, and I'll tell you about them. I'm starting with a white 3" by 4 1/4. I have soft suede that measures 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And then I have old olive, which measures 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. Okay, I will be putting this project on my blog. I don't have the tutorial put up yet, but when it does get there, the dimensions will be there as well. Okay, and then I have my regular card base, which measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Hi, Sally. On the inside, I'm going to put some Whisper White cardstock measuring 5 1/4 by 4 inches, all standard size. Okay. And then this also is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches, and I ran it through the Subtles embossing folder. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the front right now. Okay, and I'm just going to set these aside for the time being and get to the stamping portion. Okay, this is the stamp that I'm using, and you can see the distinctive details in the flowers especially. Hi, Reba. Okay, let me show you how I did this. One thing I have found with working with distinctive stamp sets, because of the amount of detail on the stamps, it's very easy to get too much ink on the stamp. So tonight I'm going to be giving you a few tips as we are creating. Okay, and you can always tell when you have too much because, and normally I would tell people on your ink pad, tap, tap, tap to ink up your stamp really well. Okay, notice I didn't say put. Look how much ink is on there though. And I don't know if you can tell, but in this stamp there's some bubbling. That means I have way too much ink on this distinctive stamp. With distinctive stamps, you typically, and I'm just using my Simply Chamois over here to clean off my stamp. Okay, and I think it's a good idea to also have your Simply Chamois convenient to you while you are working with the distinctive stamp sets. Okay, but so there's my first tip. Okay, you don't need tap, tap, tap. Okay, if you simply just lay it in there and you really don't even tap it, it's got more than enough ink. I missed a little ink there, so I can just tap that in. Okay, and I've got plenty. Let me pull a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and you can see that's way too much ink. Okay, so let me try again. I'm just gonna set it there for a moment, pick it up. Okay, a little better. One thing I do, well, a couple things I do when I find that it's way too juicy for my distinctive stamps. Okay, here's a piece of cardstock. that I decided to start over on. So it was in the trash. I'm just going to pick it up. And I might do something like this that picks up some of that excess ink. Okay. The other thing I do, which I'm going to do right now on this card, is use a sponge dauber to put my ink on. I just tap it lightly in the ink, and then I tap where I want the rich raspberry ink. Okay, you can see it's not perfect. It's going beyond that flower a little bit, but I'm going to show you how easily that is fixed. So easily you won't even believe it. Okay, with little effort you can fix that up. Okay, do you see what I did? Just put some ink on there. I'm going to use my Old Olive marker, my Stampin' Write marker, and I'm using the brush end of it, okay? And I'm just coloring the leaves. Now, it can be hard to tell what the images are sometimes. Just flip it over and you can tell the leaves. The nice thing about this is it doesn't have to be perfect. If you get some Old Olive where you might want a soft suede, it's no big deal, okay? There's another leaf. And if it's a part that already has some of that rich raspberry ink in, I just color over it, okay? I've got lots of leaves here, and I've got some leaves over here as well. Okay. Next, I'm going to use soft suede, and this will be for the tree branch. And again, just coloring. I think this I'm actually going to make branch there. Okay. You can huff on it slightly, and then you're going to press down firmly, okay? And that's the image that you see, okay? Hi, Vicki and Reba and Sally. I see some new people have joined in. I'm so glad you have, and thanks for posting, because anybody who comments will, their name will go into a drawing to receive one of the cards I make tonight, okay? So that's that. Simple, right? Okay. Now, let me show you how I did the butterfly. Okay. Where's my big butterfly all of a sudden? Ah, he's gone. Oh, here it is, sitting on my Simply Chamois. Okay, now with this, I wanted to give my butterfly some dimension, so I decided I was going to fussy cut it. However, I don't want to fussy cut the body and the antennas of the butterfly, so this is how I solved that problem. I'm going to first ink up my stamp. Okay, this one's quite bubbly. Let me try again. Just very lightly. Okay, and then I'm going to take my soft suede Stampin' Write marker again, and I'm just going to color the ink onto the body of the butterfly and the antennas. Okay, antenna, I think is the correct way to say that. Okay, so I think I'll stamp it here. Okay, now on a piece of scrap paper, I'm going to just, let me clean it off in my Simply Chamois. Reba, thank you for sharing. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I think it's beautiful too. Thank you. And then I'm going to stamp that again. Okay, and let this dry a moment, and then with my paper snips, I'm going to basically cut around the wings of the butterfly. And when I do this, for some added dimension, I am going to, let me put it more in the center there. I am going to cut into that first butterfly wing, even though that's not the way it is as I cut around. Okay, I'm not cutting around just the outline, I should say, but I'm actually cutting into that first wing. Then I'm going to continue around the outside edge of the butterfly wings. Okay, I can cut up some on the other inside wing. I'm going to caution you not to go too far because you don't want to slit it. But this is what I have, okay? So these parts can come up a little bit, lift up from the paper, okay? So I'm going to put some mini dimensionals there. And I want to make sure it's good and, whoops, I think I just put it on the wrong side. I did. So I'll just pull those off and restick them. Okay. And I'm going to put just a little bit on those outer wings. Okay, just a little bit of snail or other adhesive on the outer wings. Okay. Oh, just pulled that right off. My fingers feel too big tonight. These mini dimensionals. I hope you've all had a great day. It's been a beautiful day in Columbus, Ohio. I worked with one of my visiting angel clients this morning, and then I did some exercise with my daughter, walk/run. We're going to sign up for some more races. And then I've been doing Stampin' Up! Work since. Okay, so then I just laid it over the top, okay, of the first one I stamped. And I can just pull it up a little bit like that, okay? Do you see the dimension there? Hi, Robin. Ladies, it's not too late to share if you don't mind. Okay, now I thought this looked a little bare to just put on the card like that. So I'm using a sponge dauber with balmy blue ink, and I'm going to fill in the background a little bit. Now here's a tip. When you're working with sponge daubers, start off your paper and kind of swirl it and then swirl onto your paper, okay? That helps you control how light or dark you want this, okay? It also helps you see how much ink you already had on there. I keep my daubers in a case, and I use only one dauber for each color. They're an assigned dauber per color. So I don't necessarily clean off my daubers each time, and sometimes before you know it, you have too much ink on there. So, you know, maybe when you start out, test it out like that. I can tell you right now, there's probably way too much ink on this rich raspberry. Okay, you see that? So at most, that's really all I do before I stick them in the case. Oh, you like that? Good. Let me see some hearts and thumbs up. I appreciate your lovely comments. Okay, now to finish off this card, I have a 1/2-inch strip of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use the same sentiment, a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. Tap, tap, tap lightly in the ink pad. The words are not a distinctive stamp, so the tap, tap, tap applies here. But remember, if you're using distinctive stamps, you don't need to tap, tap, tap. Okay, that's not real straight, so I'm going to flip it over and try again. Okay. Steady hand, Mary, steady hand. Come on, you got this. There. Do you ever have to do that? Tuck yourself into it. Oh. That's okay. And this time I'm just going to cut each end at a slant. Okay. Sometimes I leave the ends square, sometimes I make a banner cut. This time I'm just doing that slanted cut. Okay. Now let's put the pieces together. I'm using soft suede for my first layer, and then I'm using old olive for the next layer. Okay, I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals, and don't forget, use up every bit of your dimensionals on that sheet. When you get down to the outside edge, just give them a quick clip or trim with your paper snips. Okay. And then I'm just going to center this on my card front. I love this color combination. I've used this in the past, but I pulled out my rich raspberry and I thought, what should I go with it? And I thought back to this color combination, rich raspberry, old olive, soft suede, and then I threw in some crushed curry for a bright pop of color. But I just love these together. And it's a color combination I don't think I've used in quite some time. Okay, I'm adding a couple of mini dimensionals to my greeting. Oh, I have to stamp the envelope too. Not quite finished. Okay. You notice on this one, I put my butterfly in a different place. Okay. The reason is I noticed early on the cards I made earlier, I was getting really close to the top of the card, and I don't want to have to smush it into the envelope. Okay, so I lowered it this time. Alrighty, so just be aware of that when you're stamping something that you want hanging off one or a couple of the layers, so that you're not going beyond the border of the actual card. Okay, let me grab an envelope. And make sure you comment, because you could win this card. Okay. And remember, this is a distinctive stamp set, so I just laid it on my ink pad. It's got plenty of ink, and you can see all the detail there. Okay. And next, let me pull some old olive ink, and we'll get a few leaves on there. You can even stamp off with the leaf, stamp and then stamp again without re-inking to get that lighter shade of the old olive. And I think I'll do one over here. Okay, so that's that. What do you think? Oh, Melissa, I'm glad you like it. Aren't they great colors together? Thank you. One of my favorite color combinations, an oldie but a goodie that I haven't used in a long time, so I was excited when I thought about it. Okay, now let me show you how to make this wonderful, I need to get some of these ink pads out of the way, this wonderful card holder. Okay, and in this one I have 2 cards and 2 envelopes on each side. Okay, you can also, well, I'm going to show you how I made this one, but really you might be able to get 6 in here, but my cards I like to layer with dimensionals and lots of layers in cardstock and all kinds of things, so mine are a little thick. If that is the case, I would say stick to 4, or at the end I'll tell you how you can make one a little bit bigger. Okay, so to make this, I need to get stuff out of the way. To make this, okay, I'm using 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And once you know, the one I pulled out is yucky. So 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Okay, I'm going to put it in the vertical position, and I'm going to score at 2 inches. Okay, then I'm going to put in the horizontal or landscape position and have it at 5.5 inches, and then score. Okay. Then you want to take some scissors, and this just makes for easier folding and closing of the card holder. Okay, so I'm going to snip a triangle or an angled line on each side of that center score line up to the 2-inch line, up to the horizontal line. Okay, then just simply fold on those score lines. You'll want to use your scoring tool, your bone folder. Okay, and that's that. So simple. Now, if you'd like, you can close up the ends. I don't feel it's really necessary because the cards are not going to fall out. You're going to tie your bow with your ribbon around and tie it off, and they're not going to fall out. But if you feel the need to do that anyways, what you can do is just put a little bit of this Tombow multi-purpose glue on the outside edge of each flap. Okay, and then just hold it in place for a minute until it dries. Okay, but like I said, not necessary. This is not a necessary step. Okay, alrighty. So would you like me to go ahead and stamp and finish this whole card holder? Do you have time to hang on a little bit longer for me to do that? Okay. So let's just start with our stamping again, okay? And I'm going to use the same method, same technique. I'll even start by cleaning off my stamp here because it's pretty full of ink. So I'm just going to dab it in my Simply Chamois a bit, okay? And then I'm all ready. Where's my sponge dauber? Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to use the sponge dauber again on just the flowers. And then I'll use my Old Olive Stampin' Right marker for the leaves, just coloring the ink on. Sometimes if you just do that, it kind of cleans the tip of your marker, especially when you're moving some of that rich razzleberry ink around where my daubing went beyond, okay? Where the daubing went beyond the flowers. Okay. And finally, my soft suede Stampin' Right marker. Again, I can do that. And it's perfectly fine if the colors blend somewhat. In fact, I kind of like it better when they do blend a bit. So I'm going to stamp this near the bottom of my cardstock. This cardstock measures, let me think, I believe 5 by 4. Yes, 5 inches by 4 inches. And before I re-ink, I'm going to stamp in this corner. Okay, so think of it as the tree is over here, and the the branch is coming out this way, okay? Not a fan of Blackberry Bliss. Interesting. Okay. Blackberry Bliss is a color I like, but I have to say I tend to go to the rich razzleberry that I'm showing tonight a little bit more. Inez, what colors would you make this in? Okay, and again, coloring with my Stampin' Right marker. Trying to do it kind of quickly here. So I met a gentleman today from a neighboring town who is renovating a space in this small town and going to be setting up a coffee shop. How do I say? He's calling it Bouncin' Bean and Tea Shop. So the main focus will be coffees, but he'll also be serving food and other drinks as well. But kind of went outside of my comfort zone today and asked him about me setting up, once he opens, me setting up a coffee and cards event, maybe perhaps every other week, once a month, something like that. And I'm excited to say he was very interested in supporting another small business person. So that's really great. Oops, not a fan of rich razzleberry either. Oh, Inez, goodness. What colors would you use? I'm interested in hearing what colors you'd like to use. I'm going to huff on that a little bit. This time I'm going to turn the branch upward. Okay, and again, I'm just going to stamp a little bit right here. Okay, and then I'll do one more time. Thanks for your patience and for hanging out with me this evening as I do some more creating with you. How about some of the purples, Inez? Yes, Mary Beth, I think it would be great for me in a lot of ways. I can meet some new people and introduce them to Stampin' Up! If they're not already familiar, and hopefully build my customer base here in the Columbus area since I moved here last summer. I do love living here in Columbus. But there's still so much new, and you know how it is if you've moved, trying to get settled and find your new favorite shops and a new doctor and all those kinds of things. Okay, and this time I'm going to turn it once again like this. Okay, and then maybe even do, I might add a little, how about that? Okay. So that looks pretty good. Okay. I am going to use a piece of scrap paper once again. Well, that's probably not big enough. And I'm going to stamp Love to Celebrate You. It's always wonderful to celebrate people, isn't it? For any occasion, or simply just because they're great, somebody's a great person. Oh, okay, interesting. Interesting, Inez. Greens and peach. Okay, and though peaches, corals, they are such popular colors right now. So popular. Okay. And what else? You said brown and craft or crumb cake for bases, and black and gray also. Okay, nice, nice. Inez, always feel free, and all of you, please really feel free to share your creations on this site. That's the best thing about this craft, and it's the main reason why I love it so much, is being able to share with people. Okay, so this I just punched with the Storytime label punch, I believe it's called, and that is in the new annual catalog. And then, and I always get this, I think it's, I want to say classic label punch that I'm layering it on. And the reason I'm doing that is I didn't want to just put this on it. The white looked too stark. Okay. And I could have used a different coordinating color as well, but I chose Rich Razzleberry. Get it on there straight. Okay, there. All right, and before I attach that, I want to put my butterfly on. Okay, so I'm going to do it the same way I did last time, so that I'm going to stamp it onto the cardstock, and then I'm going to stamp it, whoops, okay, I just did that out of order. Stamp it on your ink pad first. And that's too much. Distinctive, Mary, just one tap. Okay, and then I'll color in the body of the butterfly. Okay, and I'm going to put it right about here. And then I'll stamp another on a piece of scrap paper. Oh, tried to tap so lightly that time I missed half of it. Okay. Oh, I don't like that one. I'm going to stamp again. Clean it. There. And just drop it in lightly. And stamp. Okay, better. Alrighty, and then I'm going to cut that out with my paper snips. Where did they go? Well, I don't know where they went. Ugh, and I'm sure they're right in front of me, but I'm just not seeing it. So I'm going to, which I don't usually use for cutting paper. Ugh. I'll have to give myself a talking to after that one, because these are typically my ribbon scissors. Oh, Brian, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the wonderful compliments. Thank you for sharing my live. You are all the reason why I do what I do. The sharing part of it is the most fun for me. Okay, so I've got that. I'm actually going to clip this other wing closest to the body, just a little bit, so I can give it some dimension. I feel so honored that Brian King is watching. Brian, you just made my day, along with all these other wonderful people. I'm assuming I'll see you in Greece, Brian. That's typically the time Brian and I have a quick little catch-up time, is when we see each other on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trips. Oh, for heaven's sakes, now I'm getting all there. There. Okay. Okay, so now I have that dimension here that I wanted on the butterfly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the other layers. First, my soft suede. And then I'll put it on, whoops, on the old olive. My favorite thing about Brian King, in addition to his wonderful creations, is how he always makes me laugh. Always good for putting a smile on your face and laughing. So, Brian, I'll look forward to seeing you and Jeremy on the Greek Isles trip in a few weeks. I'll have my Andrea with me. Okay, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is add this to the front of the card holder, again with dimensionals, okay? Remember, just cut these edges up, don't waste them. Okay, and before I actually put this on, I'm going to cut a length of ribbon. I'd say probably around 26, 28 inches. Okay. Oh, I probably went a little too long that time, but that's okay. If you love to travel and you love Stampin' Up, what a great opportunity you have to earn incentive trips by becoming a demonstrator. Okay? And that finishes off the lovely card holder. And after you put your cards in, you would simply tie a knot, like I showed you here when I first started. Okay? Remember, if you're watching and you haven't already commented, please do so, because one of you is going to win a card. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. You can put more cards in. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. How about that? Okay. In fact, tonight, instead of having the opportunity to win just one of the cards, how about winning this whole packet of cards? The 4 cards, envelopes, and the beautiful card holder. Anybody interested in that? Okay. I will draw a winner. I'll use my, what's it called? The wheel win, or whatever that's called. I'll put all of your names in the drawing, and then later tonight I will announce the winner of this lovely gift, and I'll drop it in the mail for you. Okay? It's been a while since I gave out some gifts at the end of the Facebook Live, so you reached me and said, like, wow, why not make up for some lost time? So you came on a good night. Okay, that's all I have for you tonight. Remember, if you are in need of a new annual catalog, I would appreciate it very much if you just message me your name and your mailing address. If you're not already working with another demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. And the first step in doing so would be sending you an annual catalog. Okay. On Thursday, I will be on my Stampin' Peace VIP group at 2 p.m. I hope many of you can join me. If you're not able to join me at that time, you can see the video replay afterwards. I'll also be posting this project on my blog later this week. So thank you all for joining me. I hope I see you on Thursday. Remember, that's in a different location, Stampin' Peace VIP group. If you're not already a member of the VIP group, all you have to do is go to that group on Facebook and request to join. Thanks for spending part of your Tuesday with me and allowing me the opportunity to share what I love doing, and that's card making and stamping. Have a great night. See you soon.